All aboard! Well, hello and welcome to this edition of Shaky Hands Shed, and today we're going to be doing a Hornby Duke of Sutherland Patriot locomotive, and it was from Rails of Sheffield, and I bought it through eBay, and it was bought cheap as it was a non-runner. Well, not a non-runner, but it had a fault on it that the valve gear was locking up the wheels on the locomotive, so they couldn't really sell it as is. And here we see the problem where the valve gear's locking up and locking the wheels up. I had a little bit of a scout round on it, and it was a quick solve. I don't know whether Rails of Sheffield don't have the time to invest in them, or didn't want to bother, or whatever, or just don't have the capability to do the repair themselves. I don't know what the situation is, but anyway, it made for a bargain, and it was fairly advertised on eBay, the fact that it had a problem, so I have no problems with that. And here we're stripping it down, and what I'm doing, I'm taking off the cylinder block because of the problem I spotted that was causing the issue, and the screwdriver's on the problem there. Somebody had taken it apart and tried to repair or whatever, or do whatever, and they'd reassembled it incorrectly, whereby the top of the piston conrod mounting in the valve gear was positioned incorrectly, and every time it went forward it pinched and caused the wheels to lock up, so I had to take it out, reassemble it correctly and put it back in, which wasn't too hard a job really. It's just fiddly, especially with my shaky hands. Pappy's getting on a bit, and the meds don't help. Anyway, here we are again, it's running smoothly again. So we reassemble it, but whoever had done it had treated it to lashings of oil. It was all over the body of the loco. And here I'm checking the motor, and it's a bit gronky. It hasn't had a service for a while, so I've decided to service it. But meanwhile, there's a couple of little pieces missing, so I've got from my Spurs box, just pushed that in. I didn't actually glue it because it's not too bad a fit, and it was just pushed in, and re-give it another buffer. There we go, just push that bit in. Looks proper with its buffers. And anyway, I decided to service the motor, so here we're stripping it down, taking all the bits off, and we're taking the clip off the gears, and here I'm taking the springs and carbon brushes out, but carbon brushes won't come out by themselves. I have to take motor front off and push them out. and I'm polishing up the actual contact plates on the motor here, the stator, whatever you want to call it. I'm polishing it up with a bit of silver water salt on a Q-tip. Find it to be a nice metal polish. Harsh enough, but not too harsh, and it leaves a lovely polish. It's about the best metal polish I've ever found at a reasonable price, so I've always stuck with it all years through, restoring classic cars, restoring bikes, etc. And here's something I always do, I try to nearly always do. Put a bit of silver water salt down, put it on a Q-tip with the actual cotton pulled off, it's just the right diameter, and give the insides of the carbon brush lots of polish, because there's crap in them, and I don't see many do them, they just scoosh them out. I give them a polish, make them nice and smooth. Then I give the carbon brushes a wipe before going in, because these are good, they're passable, happy enough with them, so they can go back in. I don't need newbies, the old ones are going nicely. Put the springs in. The springs can be fiddly, they're a bit on the frisky side when you've got the old shaky hands. I've had a couple of them bounce across my bench and you lose the odd one. Luckily they're not that much on eBay. And here I'm putting the carbon brush back in, giving it a wipe because it's not quite fitting. It will go in there because it's meant to go in there. It's the right diameter and it should be a nice, just loose fit. And there you go, the spring's in. I give that a little twist on the back side. Make sure it comes down fully. And here we put in the next one in. Boing, off it goes across the works. No, it's still in. Happy days. There we go, all sorted. We're giving it a bit of an oil here. Just dab my paintbrush in the oil. Dab it on. Putting it on the mortar bearing surfaces. So it'll be nice and smooth. Giving the axles a bit, geared a bit. And on the other side. And there we go. Nice and smooth. And here we go. I'm putting a little bit of grease on. Little dabs with my hand. You don't need a lot, because a little goes a long way. And here we go. Just putting the gear back in. Next one, I'm giving a dab of grease. And put that one back in. Just slightly out of shot, see it's just a little flirt, it's a temptress. Just out of shot. Putting the gear in seductively. What? Never mind. And back in the room. And there we go. There's the top two on. Small coating of grease. I actually wiped some off after. And back to assembling the tender. And there we go, it's screwed back together. And a little bit of oil on them central ones I didn't get. And here we go, giving it a run up, in forwards and reverse. Does sound a lot smoother. Obviously a very beneficial service. And here we go in the opposite direction. Nice and smooth. And this is only on a cheap little Hornby box controller with a thumb wheel. The cheapest the cheap controllers Hornby did back in the Middle Ages. And it's running lovely and smooth. Can't fault it. So here we go. It worked out at £29.50, so you can't go wrong. Anyway, tatty bye, folks.